So I thought I'd do an unboxing of one of my most anticipated Epic collections that's been released this year. I ordered it on from a bookseller on eBay. They seemed quite reasonable in the prices, and it only took 2 days for it to arrive, so I'm really pleased about that. So let's have a look. So obviously, I'm getting used to doing unboxings now, so I've been prepared and given myself a bit of a headway by taking the tab off so I could open it up a lot easier. So it came in this box. I will say, books, etc. pack their books a lot better. If you remember when I showed the Locust one, they had a box within a box with packing all around it as well. This one, I can't remember the name of the company who I bought it from. It came in this, so it was quite securely wrapped, but there was nothing else protecting it. The book wasn't sealed, but still, they get higher marks than Amazon, put it that way. So this is Epic Collection Fantastic Four Back to the Basics. So it's the start of the John Byrne run. This was my Fantastic Four growing up. Yeah, I had like reprints and from British Marvel comics and stuff of where they reprinted in black and white Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's Fantastic Four, which I loved, but this was magical. This was one that I got in on the ground running. So this always had a special place, and I've never read a Fantastic Four series since that's beaten it. So yeah, I'm really happy about this. So let's just look. That's the spine. Now, one thing I will give it a big negative mark on, not the packaging, not the contents, but the price. $54.99. $54.99. When you think about a DC Finest, even if it's got 670 pages in, it's $39.99. So Marvel, the robbing bastards, are charging $15 more than DC for a book with less pages. So this contains Fantastic Four 232 to 248, Fantastic Four Roast 1, and material from What If. I wish to just keep it Fantastic Four and have these. I'm not bothered about the crappy peripherals like the Fantastic Four Roast and the What If comic. Just keep it pure Fantastic Four. But it says here the Fantastic Four going back to the basics, back to Byrne, the debut of John Byrne in his. That's a real nonsensical sentence. The debut of John Byrne in his celebrated run as FF writer artist begins in this epic collection. But, oh God, I've been eating flowers with all this. Byrne's deft creative balance, renewing the character's core, revitalizing old foes and introducing new concepts, gave the FF a bold vitality, restoring them to the lofty heights of the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby era. The Invisible Girl's powers go through a dramatic evolution. Galactus gets a surprising new herald, and the FF join their most hated rival, Doctor Doom, in a fight for Latveria, restored from a trove of original Byrne art, and including cool bonus items. Who cares about bonus items? Not me. Like Fred Hembeck's writers. Yeah, Fantastic Four Roast and Byrne's excursion into the FF's origin in What If. So it covers 1981 to 1982. So I think there'll be another 3 volumes. I'm not sure, but something like that. Either 2 or 3 more volumes. So yeah, great cover. The paper stock, let's have a look. It feels thinner than the DC Finest stock. That's what I'll say. I do prefer the DC Finest paperwork. No shade, it's just my honest opinion. I do apologise for my voice, by the way. I've literally just woken up. But when I got a text message saying my parcel's been delivered. I've got to do an unboxing. So let's have a look. I've got a handful, well, more than a handful of Epic collections. I've got some Defenders, some of the Avengers I like the Avengers period from the late 70s, early 80s, and the first 2 volumes of New Mutants. Got a Wolverine one and a few other scattered ones. So it's got them all listed in here with the pages. Yeah, it's got page numbering on the things as well. I must admit, that is such an iconic cover. And one thing I'll say, which could be controversial, John Byrne is a great artist, and he is a better writer than Chris Claremont. I'm sorry to say. Chris Claremont, to me, when I'm trying to read him now, it's like reading Shakespeare when you're a kid trying to learn Shakespeare, because he puts so, to him, more is more, and he keeps on putting more in. So, I mean, John Byrne is pretty wordy as well in the first few issues, but it does get better as it goes on. But yeah, superb. Really, really so happy for this. And it looks really good. The print has come up really nicely. This is peak John Byrne when he's just coming off the X-Men. There's that little fallow period when he's doing bits and bobs, and then he settles on this, and it shows when he took full control with the writing. When he takes control with the writing as well on a comic, his creativity really, really shines. This is like a big step up from his art from um, X-Men, even though with the X-Men he had an inker who gave it that polished look, that very flashy look, what people latched onto. For me, I like the noodly kind of John Byrne, which this is. And you can tell John Byrne had a big influence on people like Todd McFarlane, etc. But yeah, gorgeous. This is when Fantastic Four goes super cosmic, like it did with Kirby and Lee, which is what he wants. And I'm pleased that they've included some of the letters pages as well. I mean, that's just fantastic. No, pardon me, no pun intended. That is fantastic. And I actually liked Doctor Doom in this period because it wasn't overkill. Whereas nowadays, it's become like a Joker figure where they've just pushed him into so much stuff now, giving him so many titles just because one fucking little film, well, one big film that's coming out soon. It's not the way to do it, Marvel. This is how you do it. Less is more. I don't know what's going on here. That's a Kirby one. Okay, so that's included for some reason. I can't remember this from the comics, but it must have been like a special backup. But there's a reprint of a Kirby. And then back to Byrne. Gorgeous. And I think this is when Sue Richards starts becoming every Geek Boy's poster girl, every Geek Boy's romantic fantasy. Not sexual fantasy, but romantic one. She had a different kind of vibe to like Storm and that lot, Mohawk Storm, who gave me a lot of pleasant dreams when I was growing up. But she's like a more wholesome female figure to latch onto when you're growing up. But oh, this is just dynamic. Now that they've started doing this, sorry to interrupt myself. Oh, I love that cover, but the paper stock has changed halfway through. Feels a bit weird. Bit, don't know. So yeah, classic characters coming back. Inhumans who are always great when they're in a Fantastic Four comic are in here. I mean, look at that. He doesn't do like the Kirby crackle much, but he does good galactic and space and cosmic scenes in comics. I mean, the panel is just superb. That big spread. So yeah, I'm currently reading DC Finest Green Arrow, the micro stuff, but I am so tempted just to take a little breather, because obviously that's 550 pages or something, and dive into this, because I just adore this comic. And that's what the cover's taken from. He just draws a damn fine Galactus. Again, apologies. I've not been awake long and I have hay fever, so a bit congested this morning. It's settled down once the tablets kick in. You don't need to know that. Here I am oversharing. But what the heck. Oh, Dr. Doom again. This is how I always, when people talk about Latveria, this is how, where my mind palace goes to, how John Byrne draws Latveria. Now, did I digress? I don't know, but now that they've done this, I hope they bring out John Byrne's Namor, and also I want to see Alpha Flight in Epic Collection. I think that's my favourite John Byrne comic of any. I just adore that series. So here's fingers crossed. But another one that I will be getting in the coming months will be the Epic Collection of Thor by Walt Simonson. Again, I've got to just time it right because Marvel prices are ridiculous. They're so expensive. I mean, it's not worth the money, put it that way. But I'm not a big fan of omnibuses. If they did a compendium of all of John Byrne's Fantastic Four, I'd get that. But this is the closest option I've got. So this is the roast with all different artists doing it. Like I said, pointless. I'd rather have had an extra 2 issues of the ongoing Fantastic Four comic in here instead. I don't like this, but don't mind if it's sketches, but stuff like this to me is just pointless. I'm not that kind of completist. I just want the main story. Yeah, this for me just gets me annoyed. I feel like I pay for stuff I don't want. If that makes sense. I might just be unusual. I'm not sure if anybody else has that feeling, but I don't mind backfill when it's got like written stuff about the process of creating a comic, what they were thinking of when they're making the comic, or like roughs of their artwork, etc. But when it's filler like this, just to fill out the page count, it annoys me so much because it's nothing to do with the main comic. It's a very tenuous link and it annoys me so much. But anyway, so you get 486, 87, 88, about 496, 98 pages, and at a very steep price of $54.99. Do check online. I like to support my local comic shop because they do 3 for 2, but 3 for 2 on this would be ridiculous. It'd be £40 odd, which I'm just not paying. Still cost me a lot. It cost me about £30, but I've got it on like a thing where I can pay for it in 3 installments, which I'm doing. But I'm pleased I've got it, but I will moan about the price because it's disgusting how Marvel priced the books, the comics, all the way from comics through to omnibuses and epic collections and so on. Like I said, come on, Marvel, be more like DC and do it in the DC finest price range where you just have a stock $39.99, no matter what the price count, and I'd be happy. So I'll deduct a point for the price. So it would have been a 10 out of 10. No, it would have been a 9 out of 10 because I'd have deducted the points for the 2 backstrips. Hembeck and that silly what if. No, not interested. So, but that's just personal taste. I like the artwork at the back. Fine with that, no problem. So I'm going to give it. So if I'd have just deducted it without the price points, it'd have been a 9 out of 10. But if I'm deducting it with the price points as well, it would be an 8 out of 10. But extremely happy I've got it, and I will be getting the others. And like I said, I will be getting the Walt Simonson Thor run as well. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope it gives you an idea what the book's like. And I would recommend checking out, but do shop around because the price is very unfriendly. Put it that way, to put it mildly. Okay, bye.